clear. Alrighty. I'm Mike Bowler. I'm with Ready Indy. And like I said, about 3 years ago, a buddy of mine was in the 2008 floods, and he was Ben McCann. And I met him through a CBMC, Christian Businessmen's Connections, luncheon downtown Indianapolis. And got a call, came around and said, hey, it's flooding and we need some help. And I said, I'll be on my way. So I came on down and ready to go help. They said, who are you? I said, I'm Mike Bowler. I'm here. Go back. Go back. So it brought back what was it, feedback? I don't even need it, do I? I brought back,
we need it because of recording.
oh, okay.
We need to just move it back to
Behind the speaker, you'll be fine.
How's that? Does that work?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
You look marvelous.
All right. So when I went back home, I had all those feelings that I had with 9/11, couldn't go help. Everybody's got a story. Katrina, Haiti, sitting on the couch, looking at CNN, being numb, saying, what can I do, what can I do? And then finally, 2008, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go down, I'm finally going to go help. They wouldn't let me. So what that did for us as a team of ministry people, we said enough's enough. Then we started looking. And people like Jarvis Ward and John McHatton and people came from CN, and we had a meeting. And it turned into some more and more meetings. And I've got a presentation that will bring that into the thing. So it's really about certification. It's really about relationships. So everybody in here now is a ministry partner of mine, right? Now that I've met you, I'm going to get, and quick, I didn't get to hear earlier, how many states are represented here today? We got Indianapolis, California, Maryland, Wisconsin, Illinois. Okay, there's 5. All right, Indiana. So
Iowa included? You get Iowa? Okay.
we can add them. We can keep adding them up. And now, when I hear something that says Texas or Boston, it's not just Boston. It's Mission America, my buddy in Boston, my ministry partner in. And if you're in a disaster, if you're in trouble, don't you think that aren't some of the prayers that are going up is are the angels coming? Are they coming to help me? You know that, and don't you get a tug saying I need to go help? You know, so that's the tug, and that's rush of volunteers that come in that need leadership. They need guidance. I was coming to help. Did they know who I was? No. Did they know I was in the Navy 5.5 years? I was radar, sonar, navigation, communication equipment, biological stuff. I can do this. I put out fires. I know how to help. I can swim. I can dive. But they didn't know that. If they'd have known that, they said, "Come right in, Mike." That's where these relate. That's what's needed, and that's what we work on. I just met Charles. There he is. I just through the phone and talking, and now we're blood brothers. Something go down in Iowa. Guess what? Ready Indy's ready. We're going to start praying. We launch our prayer network. We get to praying for the incident. Praying gives us communication. We start to find out the needs. And this is one you'll hear me. I'm going to say this over and over again. These disasters are nothing but birthday parties. Why is the church always showing up with cake? There's more to birthday parties than just cake. Where's the hats? Where's the balloons? Where's the toys? Where's the, And if you don't know who's bringing stuff, then why are you even bringing anything in the first place? So you gotta know what the needs are before you launch out. So when Charles helped us with the putting the presentation together, he had a list of questions. So that's what I wanted to answer first. And one of the first questions was, what happened in Indianapolis?
You want your presentation up?
Yep, the video. Let's see if we get the video and the sound.
Is that the video, High Strangers?
Huh?
High Strangers?
Yeah,
Hi Strangers, is that the title?
I believe so. It's the one that I clicked on and downloaded to you. Yeah, that's it. Let's see if we get sound.
I don't have sound on this portion.
Well, it's pretty, I mean, the pictures are pretty self-explanatory right there. You can see what happened.
I don't know why the sound's not coming through.
No sound? Okay, well, you can just switch it to the presentation.
Well, you see a lot of supplies coming in behind you.
There we go. And now I just do the clicker.
Okay.
Okay, just push the next slide. All right, the next one. There we go. All right, it was around 11 o'clock at night when this happened. And in the beginning of a disaster, nobody knows what just happened. They just know it's bad. They said it was a meteorite, an aircraft, gas explosion, meth lab, you name it. They said that's what just happened. But it doesn't matter what happened. It matters about the 30 homes that were knocked off their foundations. It mattered that there were 2 deaths. It mattered that there were 130 families displaced that night. They had to leave their home in their pajamas and barefoot over broken glass. Now, when they left and got on their buses to go to safety, they were not allowed to go back to their homes for 2 weeks. Now, what did they not bring with them?
Everything.
Let's list it. Give me what would you like to have?
Clothes, telephone, toothbrush.
Medications?
Important papers.
Important papers, birth certificates, cash, credit cards. They have nothing. They're instantly homeless. So now, disasters, when it comes to Ready Indy, we partner and work with homeless ministries because it's the same thing. There's no difference between someone being homeless one way or being homeless another. You need help. And you need it now, not 6 months from now, not 3 months. You need it that night. Next clip there. Now, in the morning, okay, when it comes to the NIMS part of this, I'll try to make NIMS, who's real comfortable with NIMS right now? Who knows all of it? We got one. Okay, and I'm a rookie too, so, but my public information officer, he works for the church that was near there, but he lives way up north. My operations officer lives on the south side, close to this. He was up with a ministry event late at night and smelled the smoke. He knew the procedure of what Ready Indy, we'd already talked about for the past 3 years. If something goes down, you don't do anything without your buddy. That's a cert thing. Anybody here certified? Civilian emergency response? training team, that's numero uno. They're both cert, so he called Neil and told him, hey, turn on your TV, check this out. They called me, and guess what happened? Ben called me, and I go, oh no, I am not talking to Ben tonight. I'm tired. He just wanted to talk again. I'm like, I'll catch it in the morning. Then Neil calls, and I'm going, Ben called? Neil called? Uh-oh. So I called Neil back. He said, turn on your TV. That's all. I just saw orange on the TV, and I knew what. So we started talking. I said, go ahead, go. If you're already down there, set up command, and I'll relieve you in the morning. Well, you know, that I know they're going to be tired. They're going to need relief in the morning. So in the morning, this is what the aerial views are coming in, and this was not privy to the public yet. It was only privy to the people who are what?
Certified.
Certified. So that's another reason why it's important to be certified. If you're going to be in any helping mode, you don't know what you're going to help until you get good information. Next slide, please. Neil Cox, he's cert trained, works full-time at Southport Presbyterian, and he is a Ready Christian certified. And what that means is that he went through the 8-week Bible study with me to become Ready Christians. And he and I went round and round for 8 weeks, wrestling with becoming Ready Christians. And there were some topics that we had to deal with. Ben McCann also cert trained and a Ready Christian. He's one of the first. His whole family is cert trained. He and his wife and his 2 children. The whole family is cert trained. They're so cute. You guys see the picture. Next slide. There's the church, Southport Presbyterian Church, that ended up being the Incident Command Center once it was relieved over to Reading Indy and Southport Presbyterian Church. Next. It happened on a Sunday night. By Thursday, the website was up, donation was set up through the bank, and we had already implemented case management for 30 families. The case managers, and here's a little story, here's a little thing about case management. Anybody here familiar with case management? Raise your hand if you've ever. Okay, case management means the person or family who's been affected, they need somebody to walk with them through the long haul. When we just talked about that long haul thing, who's in it for the long haul? Whoever signs up to be a case manager and walk with a family through the trials and tribulations of getting their life back to the point before the disaster, that's called case management. On Wednesday, I said, let me do a training on case management because we're going to need to do that. And this is what was so funny. I got in there, they said, okay, we got 15 people ready to learn today, and we got 15 tomorrow. I said, we didn't even have, we had trouble getting 10 put together for him to go. This is incredible. So I started doing the training, and they said, whoa, stop, Mike, stop. Right about 15 minutes into the training, they said, we already know all this. They were Stephen's ministry people. I didn't know what Stephen's ministry was. So what happened is, every family had their own care manager the third day. That was just a movement of God. So we really put a lot of things in place, and on Monday is when I sat down with the pastor and the head deacon, and we laid out all the NIMS, put the teams together. Next slide, please. This is an example of what happens in any disaster is when the media wants to get information. And this is where we learned a lot about how the families need an advocate to protect them from an onslaught of media. So working with PIOs from the fire department and police police department, our own PIOs. We were able to get the public information, but also help the survivors from being tormented, because they had to be in meetings over and over and over. They couldn't get back in their homes. There were permits and zoning, and it just drug on and drug on. Next slide, please. This is the banquet that they had after, this was shortly after Christmas, when they finally did a recognition for all the first responders. Next slide. This is the first responders, Homeland Security, Chief, Mayor, all the people that were presented awards and citations, and because the community really came around the first responders and just really thanked them for what they did. It was an all-out effort all the way across. Next slide. That's the proclamation from the city. Next slide. Now, what did we learn? What did we learn that changed our lives? We could not have come without the training and commitment. My team, we had committed 3 years ago to being ready. And if we hadn't really put some commitment into some of the training and things, we would have shown up not prepared once again. Individual roles and responsibilities is critical. The leadership structure in NIMS, that's what held that thing together. When operations knew what they were doing, when logistics knew what they were doing, when PIOs were handling business with all the media. Now, prayer and care, we did well. Share, we learned we needed much work. At the end of it, when Neil asked the team, did every family get an opportune time to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ? And we heard what?
No. Crickets.
Everybody said, oops. In Ready Church, one of the most critical, when you take a look at Christian Ready Church, one of the most critical things is the two-team approach. Emergency team and ministry continuity team. The ministry should not stop because there's a disaster. The ministry should not stop because there's a disaster. The pastor shouldn't get calls about either. The emergency team is doing emergency stuff, and the ministry continuity team is doing its stuff, and the pastor needs to be protected. He needs a front line, and just like in football, he needs a hiker, he needs his blockers, he needs his team, because there's too many phone calls, there's too many meetings. Everybody wants to talk to the leader. Well, what they need to talk to is who is authorized to do something. That's what they want to talk about. Volunteer, I heard it earlier, volunteer processing needs attention to detail. And so we had all that going on. So those are the things. And I think that's the end of the slide, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, and then we're using My Hope with Billy Graham as a way to certify that people can share the gospel. How do you certify that somebody can share the gospel? Well, if you can become a Matthew, you can write down 10 names, pray for them by name, boom, there we go. So that's what we're using for certification. And I'll turn it back over.